Tim grew up having an extraordinary imagination, but things got out of hand when his real life became a fantasy. His baby brother Ted was an agent from a company called Baby Corp. Together they fought against the odds and saved the company. They also developed a lovely relationship that made Ted forget about Baby Corp and live his life as Tim's brother. Many years have passed since that incident. Tim is a grown man now and has his own kids. Together with his lovely wife Carol and her two daughters Tabitha and Tina, Tim is living the best life. His imagination hasn't ended yet, and he's always looking for a way to have fun. Carol is the breadwinner of the family while Tim stays home and cooks food. Meanwhile, Ted grew up to be a successful businessman and hardly had time to visit Tim, but he always sends expensive gifts to his nieces. Tim still believes he's living a better life as he always has plenty of time to spend with his daughters. Unfortunately, kids grow really fast and soon they don't need any assistance. Tina is still a baby, but Tabitha is growing away from her parents every day. She no more takes part in Tim's childish activities and neither wants a bedtime story anymore. Tabitha wants to study harder and become successful like her Uncle Ted. This confession breaks Tim's heart. His daughter doesn't find him good enough to follow his steps. Tim usually stays in the storeroom whenever he's sad. He still likes talking to his imaginary friends and wishes he could become a carefree child again. Suddenly he hears a suspicious noise from downstairs. It's coming from Tina's room. Tim goes to check on her, but a teddy bear is lying in her place while Tina is walking around. She can even talk like an adult. Tim faints in shock, but then realizes that Tina is working for the same company called the Baby Corp. Another crisis is hitting the babies, and she's responsible for solving this matter. However, Tina believes that her innocent dad can never fulfill this task alone, so she asks him to call Ted. Tim refuses to do so as Ted never picks up his calls. He's always too busy. Regardless of Tim's refusal, Tina makes the arrangements to bring Ted. She records Tim's speech and sends a fake voice message to Ted saying that Tabitha is injured after falling from the horse Ted sent. The next morning, Ted rushes there in a helicopter to inquire about his beloved nieces. His entry was no less than a prince, and he loves showing off his wealth. Ted feels relieved to find out everything's fine and decides to spend a little time here. Tim gets disheartened again seeing his family giving so much respect to his brother, which Tim never got for himself. He suddenly remembers about the Baby Corp mission and calls Ted for a private conversation. Tim explains everything, but Ted doesn't believe him. He has forgotten everything about his origin. Tina can't take it anymore and takes her dad and her uncle for a tour of Baby Corp. This journey makes Ted recall everything that happened in his childhood. While being invisible, they move around the company and get details of the crisis Baby Corp is facing. It's the Acorn Center. It's a school discovered by Dr. Erwin Armstrong. He's an extremist who considers children as ultimate learning machines. He intends to pressurize students with overwhelming knowledge, and the poor children will be left with no time to play. In short, it's the end of childhood. Tabitha studies in the same school, and that's why she's drifting away from her family. Tina planned everything, and she needs Tim and Ted to execute it. Baby Corp has developed a special anti-aging formula that can turn one back to baby form for 48 hours. Tim and Ted can use it to become kids and sneak into Acorn Center. They must look around the school and find out what Dr. Erwin Armstrong is up to. Instead of following the plan, Tim and Ted start quarrel for the anti-aging formula. They both don't want to work under a team and accuse each other of being useless. Between this fight, the formula spills on both of them. Tim becomes a toddler, and Ted becomes a baby again. However, their minds are still of the same age. Carol went outside with the kids and returned soon. She starts looking for Tim and Ted, but Tina keeps her distracted. While the clever girl buys some time, Tim and Ted run upstairs. They tell Carol that they are going on a trip to rebond their relationship. Before Carol can ask anything, she sees Ted's helicopter flying away and assumes that the brothers have left already. However, both of them are still hiding upstairs. As the night sets in, Tina explains the further steps. She hands over the boys with spying devices. Every day, Dr. Erwin leaves his office at 11:15. This is when Tim and Ted have to sneak into the office and hide the spying devices. Tina will take care of the rest. Tim takes Ted to the storeroom and lets him sleep in the drawer while he takes the bed. However, he forgets to set the new alarm and wakes up late. He gets ready in a rush and brings Ted along with him but misses the school bus anyway. Ted has a crazy idea to reach the school. He gets on Tabitha's horse and drags Tim along. While trying to follow the online navigation, they mess around the whole city. They destroy several buildings and cause many traffic accidents. They even drag a burning tree after them. Finally, they slide down the snow hill and land in front of the school. Ted uses the money to attract 2 students and steal their uniforms. The school is divided into different sections based on age. Ted is sent to the Montessori while Tim joins the same class as her daughter. The kids there are super proud and don't welcome the new student. Luckily, Tabitha has learned kindness from her father and lets Tim have her seat. He introduces himself with a fake name and joins the class. It's not like any ordinary school with teachers. Instead, it has a large screen displaying the live video of Dr. Erwin. He asks the toddlers questions of level way higher than their ages. Surprisingly, most of the kids there are quite sharp, but the leading one is Tabitha. Tim feels really proud of her daughter. He never realized that she was this smart. Meanwhile, Ted is stuck in a room full of babies. He gathers them all and tries to use them to escape the room. They build a tower with toys and glue to reach the window, but it collapses at the last moment. Luckily, Ted figures that he can use glue to climb up the wall and escape. It's almost 11:15 and Tim hasn't started his mission. He asks for the hall pass, but the classroom has a personal toilet. Tim plans another strategy. He ruins his uniform and starts behaving like a spoiled child. He thought that Dr. Erwin will call him to the office, but instead he's sent to the detention room. While he's stuck there, Ted reaches the office in time, but Erwin hasn't left yet. He's actually looking forward to meeting Ted. He has been observing the babies and noticed the potential Ted has. He's a natural businessman who knows how to make people work for him. At first, Ted doesn't understand why Erwin is so fond of him, but then the evil principal reveals his identity. He's actually a baby dressed up as an adult. He isn't from the Baby Corp, but has the ability to run such a big company. To know about his business, Erwin invites Ted for a secret meeting after school. During recess, Tim looks for Ted but gets accused of being late. Ted doesn't want to work with Tim anymore and decides to complete the mission by himself. Tim feels useless again and starts looking for Tabitha. She may excel in academics, but Tabitha isn't great when it comes to co-curricular activities like singing. Her classmates make fun of her and she ends up with a sad face. Tim can't see her daughter like this and make fake excuses to get a ride with Tabitha. Unknown to his actual identity, Carol invites Tim for dinner. He hides away his childhood photos so no one can recognize him. Tim uses this chance to ask why Tabitha is so worried about performing in the school play. She sighs and reveals that she's afraid to let down her father. She admires her father for being so good at creative work like singing. She may not be capable enough to impress him. All Tabitha ever wanted is to make her dad proud. Tim was all the way wrong. Her daughter was never embarrassed by him. Tim's parents also reach there to celebrate the upcoming Christmas with their granddaughters. Luckily, they don't recognize Tim, but he definitely has a lot of familiarity. Meanwhile, Ted reaches the school's secret base. It's full of babies. Suddenly, a ninja baby attacks Ted. Several more of those ninjas appear too, and Ted runs for his life. Erwin reaches there in time and saves Ted. He knows how to control the babies. He has been teaching these babies all kinds of skills to check their potential. Ted wonders how Erwin can afford to do such an experiment on a large scale, but the cunning little guy has it all covered. He taught computer programming to babies and used them to create viral mobile applications. He's not just after money. He wants power, enough power to rule the world. Erwin's parents were psychologists and they exposed him to a high amount of information. He learned so much that he didn't want anyone to control him and ran away from his home. Then he disguised himself as an adult and discovered the most successful school in just 1.5 years. His next goal is to use an application to make the parents slave to their kids. He's after the babies revolution and wants Ted to be a part of this plan. When Ted reaches home, he sees everyone enjoying the dinner table. His parents started talking about their sons when they were little. Ted used to stick to his elder brother, and Tim also loved him dearly. They were like the best team. This reminds the brothers of how they grew apart from each other. Things weren't supposed to be like this. Later that night, Tim helps Tabitha in opening up and expressing her feelings in her song. Meanwhile, Ted delivers all the information to Tina so the Baby Corp can take care of the rest of the matter. But Tina is more worried about something else. She gives Ted the letter Tim gave him years ago. It was a promise to always stay beside each other. Unfortunately, both of them got so busy in their lives that never had time to spend together. Tina pretends that Baby Corp has told her to complete the mission by herself so she can make Ted and Tim work together more. Tim will sneak into the play so he can keep an eye on backstage, while Ted will install a controlling device in Erwin's suit. As soon as he gets on stage, Tina will make his suit for dumb things and reveal his secret. This way he'll be exposed and destroyed. Things go as planned and the device is installed. However, there's a big issue. Erwin has already launched his mind-controlling application, and it activates as soon as the parents turn on their cameras. They start getting hypnotized. Tina asks Tim to turn off the power and stop the show, but he wants to see Tabitha sing. His selfish desire is to destroy everything. Ted can't take it anymore and reaches the switch by himself. Unfortunately, they both get caught by Erwin. The evil baby knew their plan all from the start. He puts Ted and Tim in the detention room and continues the show. All the parents are brainwashed to follow his orders. Tina rushes to Tabitha and tells her everything about Baby Corp. They need to complete the mission. Tabitha locates the school server that's controlling the mobile phones. It should be destroyed immediately. Meanwhile, the detention is filling up with water to drown Tim and Ted. They finally realize how they wasted their lives fighting with each other. Just because we grow older, it's not necessary to grow apart. They apologize and cherish the last moment they have together. Suddenly, Ted remembers about his loyal horse and calls her with a whistle. She reaches there in no time and saves the boys. Tabitha and Ted reach there too. They all rush towards the server tree, but Erwin stops them with his ninja babies. Ted's Montessori friends him and he reaches the tree. They try to climb up, but Erwin stops them again. Tabitha and Tina make it to the top and try to shut down the server, but Erwin stops them at the last moment. Tabitha asks Tim to turn on the fire alarm, but there's no water in the emergency sprinkle and the server is still working. Suddenly, Tabitha remembers about the silly experiments she did with her father. Being a baby, Erwin always carries junk food like cola and Mentos. Tina combines them to cause a blast and ruin the server. The parents are back to normal, including Tim and Ted. The babies unite with their parents and this breaks Erwin's heart. He misses his family too. After getting back home, Tim celebrates Christmas with his family, but this time Ted has joined them too. Moreover, Erwin gets back to his family too. Family is a blessing indeed. Being alone is not freedom. It's the worst punishment one can ever experience.